What is going on, people? My name is Ryan, joined by Brandon once again. He's becoming a regular on this channel if you've been watching for any amount of time. And we're here for a special reason today. We're here because one of our personal favorite pre-workouts just got better. So you can probably see by now the pre-workout that we're talking about is the InnovaPharm MVPre, and now we have MVPre 2.0. So we're going to go over the 2.0 today. We're going to talk about the label. We're actually going to talk about the label on both of them a little bit because there's not that much of a difference, but the few differences that there are, we're going to highlight, and then we're going to talk about our personal experiences having used both of these quite a few times. We are very familiar with these. And then we're going to help you decide whether it's for you or not. And I think we're going to talk about the taste too, right? Yeah, we usually throw that in there. So, for those of you that may not know, InnovaPharm is a pretty big player in the supplement game. They have quite a line of products, and I'll put a link to their website down in the description below so you can check them out. I know in addition to the MVPre, they have the Limitless pre-workout. I think that's like a little more tame than this. But anyways, this is what we're going to be talking about today. And so there's a couple differences that you're going to see between the version 1 and the version 2. The first is that the version 1 is actually not labeled as InnovaPharm. The tub that I have right here is the original one, and it actually is under the name Precision Research. And if you look on the back here, there's actually a little section that says manufactured for InnovaPharm, but it's the same thing essentially. I don't know why they decided to not label it as InnovaPharm. I guess it was to maybe help with sales of their other pre-workouts or something. I don't know. I personally like it better with the name InnovaPharm on it. I think the brand recognition is important, so having that name on there is cool. Now, the Precision Research one right here, I have the Freedom Pop flavor, and Brandon has the 2.0 tub right here with the Roadside Lemonade flavor. We've both tried both flavors, and I have to say, I think they're both solid.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially, they're two very accurate flavors. Roadside Lemonade, you're going to get that classic Minute Maid lemonade taste pretty much. And as far as the Bomb Pop goes, we've mentioned it before, we're seeing that it's become very mainstream when it comes to pre-workout flavors. And as far as MVPre goes, the Rocket Pop, Freedom Pop, whatever it's called, they nailed it. Very accurate flavors. Definitely a thumbs up for me on both.
Yeah.
Definitely a good flavor.
The only other thing I kind of have to add is that they're a little bit chalky because they have a ton of pump ingredients in them, but it's well worth it. I mean, they go down easy, so can't really knock the flavor. So. All right, so now we're going to discuss the changes that were made under the hood. And I'm just going to quickly say there really aren't that many changes here between 1 and 2. But nonetheless, I'm going to put the labels up on screen so you guys can see what I'm reading here. So starting on the new one, I mean, they're pretty much the same at this point. We have half a scoop or a rounded scoop. So with a half a scoop, you're going to get 40 servings. With a rounded scoop, you're going to get 20. We're going to review this on the 1 scoop serving or the rounded scoop serving because, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, with the half scoop, it's a marketing thing. You know, you see the tub and it says 40 servings on it, and you're like, damn, you know, I'm getting a good deal on this. You know, 40 whole servings, but don't be fooled. I don't recommend taking a half scoop unless you're a beginner. But anyways, I digress. Let's get on with the label. So on the new one, we have 17.8 grams for a rounded scoop, and on the old one, we actually have 18.4 grams for a rounded scoop. So I'm going to show you later on as we go down where they made up that less than a gram difference. So anyways, starting off, we have niacin at 15 milligrams. So that's a B vitamin. It's going to help with, it helps with blood flow a little bit, and it's going to give you a little bit of a flushing sensation for some people. I know some people don't like it for that reason. I personally don't mind. Then we have vitamin B12 at 1,000 micrograms. That is 16,667% of your daily vitamin B12 intake. Obviously, don't take this as a multivitamin, but B vitamins will have a little bit of effect on your energy. Then we move into the juicy stuff, the Pump and Performance Matrix. And by the way, there's no proprietary blends here, which is another reason that I love this pre-workout. We know how much of everything we're getting, and we're getting some pretty massively dosed stuff. So starting off, we have citrulline malate 2-to-1, 8 grams. That is an excellent dose of citrulline. I think we all know what that is by now, but just in case you don't, it is a nitric oxide booster. It's going to help with pumps. It's on pretty much every pre-workout label I think I've ever seen. So moving on, we have beta-alanine at the full clinical dose of 3.2 grams. What does that do, Brandon?
My favorite, guys. You know me by now. Get that itchy, burning, tingling sensation. Get you in the zone. definitely a mental thing for me, but I love having it a pre-workout, as you guys know by now.
Scientifically, it's supposed to help you with endurance and lactic acid buildup, but everyone knows it for the tingling, and you're definitely going to feel the tingling with this. Anyways, moving on, we have glycersize, glycerol powder 65% at 2 grams. Good dose of glycersize. Now, one thing to note, and one thing that everybody asks when there's glycerol in a pre-workout is, does it clump? And the answer is yeah, but it's not terrible. If you shake the tub a little bit, you'll still be able to get, like, you'll easily be able to get a scoop. I'll see if I can show you guys right here. The powder is still very fine in here, and you're really not going to have too hard of a time. There's minimal clumping. So if that's a concern for you, don't let it be. Alright, so next up we have something that's different between version 1 and version 2. So on the version 1 we have agmatine sulfate at 1 gram. That's a good dose of agmatine. Agmatine sulfate is going to help with pumps, and at 1 gram that's perfect. And agmatine was actually replaced on the second one with S7 at 50 milligrams. So for those of you that don't know, S7 is more of like a cutting edge pump ingredient. I've seen it in a couple other pre-workouts like Alpha Lion Superhuman, and it's going to help with pumps. Essentially, it's kind of like a phasing out of agmatine sulfate, I guess. Agmatine sulfate has been in pre-workouts forever now. It's a really, I guess, I don't want to say old pump ingredient, but I mean, it's been on labels for a while now. It's effective, but I guess InnovaPharm felt that S7 would get the job done better. So that's what we get here. Okay, so that's one of 2 differences on the label. Now we're moving into the CogniStim matrix. Starting off, we have choline bitartrate at 1 gram. Choline's going to help with mental focus. So is the next ingredient, N-acetyl-L-tyrosine, 500 milligrams. Again, great dose. I don't think anything on this label is really underdosed. No. So moving on, now we're getting into the really juicy stuff, the stimulant part. We have caffeine anhydrous at 350 milligrams. That's solid these days. I mean, 350s, you see a lot of pre-workouts out there with high caffeine content, and this is right up in there with 350 milligrams. Obviously, there's ones out there with more, but I wouldn't worry about it because, as you'll see next, we have some other things that are going to help out with energy and focus. Next up, we have, get ready, drum roll please, 6-methyl-2-heptylamine at 150 milligrams. What is that? What is that complicated chemical formula?
Ryan, I believe that's DMHA.
DMHA, that's right, people. So if you Google that, that's what'll come up. It's DMHA. That is a powerful stimulant that is going to help with energy, focus, mood elevation. It's also kind of a gray area one, and InnovaPharm or Precision Research actually kind of disguised it on the version 1 label. So if you see right here, it says Biophytum DC root extract, 150 milligrams. Both of them are at 150 milligrams, so it's kind of clear that they just labeled it as something else on the version 1 label. Why would they do that?
Well, they did it to, I guess protect themselves in some way, but I mean, in the 2.0 guys, they listed as the actual chemical formula, so
I guess they figured it wasn't that big of a risk, but anyways, yeah, so like I said, DMHA is a little bit gray area, and I know some manufacturers opted to remove it so that they could sell more pre-workouts in like better places. Like I know Alpha Lion dropped DMHA from their pre-workouts so that they were able to sell it on bodybuilding.com.
Yeah, exactly. Mainstream websites
I guess
like
you could say they sold out, but a lot of companies are doing that nowadays, so I thought it was actually pretty clever of them to disguise it. Yeah. But I also think it might have been a little bit of a turnoff because when I went to my local nutrition store, I said I want a DMHA pre-workout, and they showed me this. And it said Precision Research on it. And first of all, I'm like, who the hell is Precision Research? Yeah, Brandon and I actually bought these together back on Black Friday. And they were like, oh yeah, it's a InnovaPharm brand. And I was like, okay. And then I read the label and I was like, but there's no DMHA. And he was like, oh no, it's the Biophytum root extract. And I was like,
wait a minute.
Yeah, that's a little odd. But I guess it made sense why they would disguise it. So anyways, I went through and purchased it, I tried it, and well, the rest is history. But anyways, we're going to finish off the label here. But I just wanted to say that because if you guys do stumble upon a tub of the original version, it does have DMHA in it. That is just a little cover-up right there. So next up, we have one of the other differences between the old and the new. In this one, we have this, N-phentyl dimethylamine, which is Aerogenesis, at 100 milligrams. Aerogenesis is kind of have been named like the natural DMHA, I guess. It's going to help with energy, focus, and mood elevation. It's not as gray area as DMHA, but it's kind of getting there. And on the old label, we actually have Alpha Yo Himbean at 2 milligrams. And it looks like the Araya genesis actually replaced the Alpha Yo in the original one. 2 milligrams, if somebody's sensitive to Alpha Yo, 2 milligrams might mess you up.
Might put them over.
That's the ingredient that, some people that have adverse effects to it, which seems to be a lot nowadays, you may get like some cold sweats or like even drooling a little bit. It's not pleasant if you have too much Alpha Yo. For me, the 2 milligrams never bothered me. I'm not sensitive to it, so I think 2 milligrams is a pretty solid dose. But nonetheless, it was replaced with Araya, which I guess you could say has less side effects, even though I never had any myself. And then rounding out the label, we have Huperzine A, 150 micrograms on the new one and 100 micrograms on the old one. Are you going to notice that? Probably not. But it's a nice little ingredient that'll help with focus. So anyways, we read the labels, and there's not too much different, but how does this all come together? I don't know. Watch to find out. All right, people, now for the part that you all care about. How do we do taking these pre-workouts? Is version 1 different from version 2? We're going to start off with version 1. Oh my god.
Wow.
It's a killer pre-workout. This thing is one of our combined favorites from the year. And as the label says on the front, massively dosed high impact pre-workout. That is exactly what it is. I mean, you see this label with all these ingredients, everything is dosed properly, and it comes together exactly how you'd expect it to. By starting off, like we said, the flavor is always good. It hits relatively fast. You get that beta-alanine tingling after a couple minutes, and then that kick of energy is insane. It really is.
You get what you pay for with this pre-workout.
The caffeine, the DMHA, it hits really hard. Like I said, I personally didn't have any Alpha Yo side effects, and I would say it kind of raises up for a little bit, and then it kind of steadies out. Like as you're working out, I really noticed. The focus was really strong. Mood elevation, I really didn't get any.
Nah, pretty neutral when it comes to mood.
Yeah, it's not like a pissed off one, but it's not a happy one either. I was just like really focused.
Tunnel vision.
Strength, I felt the strength on this one.
Strength and power is definitely a plus with this. Easily.
So the whole workout, I was just focused. I was moving heavy weights. I felt great the whole time, and the pumps.
Oh my goodness.
The
Very
pumps
surprising.
are amazing.
Pumps
on
are
this.
real nice with this, guys.
I mean, you got the citrulline and glycerol, and now the S7 in the new one. I mean, it feels as good as a dedicated pump product.
As if you were to add a pump product or add a InnovaPump to this. You don't need to.
No.
The pump is there.
So, at a full serving of this is a super, probably one of the best all-arounders I've ever seen.
Well-rounded. Very well-rounded pre-workout.
And as for the 2.0, is it different? Not really.
Negligible
difference.
Guys,
yeah, I really felt most of the same stuff. Obviously, we have different flavors, but this one felt just as good as this one. I don't think either one felt better or worse because the main stimulants in the pump package stayed the same. The lack of Alpha Yo is something that you might notice if you're sensitive to it. Like I said, I personally didn't really notice. And they're just both extremely solid. Okay, so we've talked about it. Are these enough to be classified as Stim Junkie pre-workouts? And I would say they kind of are.
I'd say pretty much.
Yeah. So it's definitely probably not something that you're going to want to take every single day because there is a lot of DMHA in here, and that does build a tolerance relatively fast. But I would say you're good probably two or three times a week.
If you're an experienced lifter, 2-3 times we found to be our sweet spot pretty much taking this product. So
And every time, I mean, you're always going to get what you expect. You're always going to get a killer pump and a really good burst of energy.
Exactly.
And I don't think I've ever had a bad workout with this stuff. I mean, it's just, it impresses me every time.
Everything on the label definitely has its place. You'll feel it throughout the workout. So definitely one of the best well-rounded, all-around pre-workouts we've ever tried.
So who is this for? Well, if you're looking for version 1 or you have an opportunity to buy version 1 or something like that, if you're sensitive to Alpha Yo Himbean, I would pass on it. Other than that, go for it. I mean, it's super solid, and if you can find it at a discount or something because it's the old one, I would not hesitate to pick it up if you're just looking for a super solid pre-workout that's a little bit edgy. And version 2 should be good for any experienced pre-workout user. I mean, I know even like experienced people sometimes have some beef with Alpha Yo. This, you will not get it. And like I said, there's really not much to not like about this pre-workout. You get a fully disclosed label, awesome experience, And, I really can't dock it for anything.
No. Neither can I, Ryan,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
So if you're interested in buying this, we will put a link in the description where you can get it at the best price. Be sure to check out Brandon on Instagram if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys in the next one.